Fuck it, we ball. Are we balling? Let's make sure that I'm balling here. Since I am everything on this show. I am the producer. I am the levels. Let's make sure those levels are good. Yeah, I don't know. They look fine. Hey, what's up? What's up, you guys? Hi, hello. Gosh darn it. Hi. What's up? I probably should have thought of something to open with. Welcome to PodGis or whatever this is going to end up being. I'm thinking a total rebrand. A total rebrand of the pod. As you can see, the setting has changed since I moved to a different place. I'm gonna tinker around. We're gonna be tinkering. Tinker soldiers over here. But look at this quaint little setup here. You know, I got my gnome that my parents got me for my birthday. 2010, I believe. No, 2014 World Cup. 2014. They got me this. I got this at a Chinese auction when I was dating my ex a long time ago. Got that for a speaking engagement. Got my friends gave me this when I got FFS, when I got facial surgery. It's a very nice thermosy mug. What do you call this besides a cup? I know it's a cup, but what would you call some? There's got to be a special name for something like this. Top cup? No, it's not a thermos. A steel trap for ice water. Oh, I forgot to start my timer. Oh my god. There we go. I've got my trophy case of passes, of festival passes up there. Got a nice scented candle. Oh, smells like ocean breeze. And then I got my John Candy Award right here. My John Candy bobblehead. I'm going to try really hard not to yell. Let's have a quick look at my levels. Just checking. Wow, those are beautiful levels. Those are some magnificent levels. Yeah. So I guess we're on our way. We're rolling now. This is as much a test episode as it is a legitimate episode. A dive into what's been happening. What's been happening? Maybe I'll just call this show "What's Been Happening." Even though that's awfully close to the what happened. The I don't know what movie that's from. What's his name? Frank something. Frank Miller. Frank and Beans. I don't know. It's an improv thing. The guy. You know the guy. You know which guy I'm talking about. You know the guy. Look, you're not a fan if you don't get my vague, terribly referred to, dug out from the deep recesses of my memory references. Okay? You're just going to have to roll with me. And if you're new to the pod, it's not all this. Don't worry. It chugs along. It chugs along at its own pace. We find our way. We make our way. We find our way. We carve a path with a machete through some dense forest, through the dense quagmire that is the brain of Ava Val, that never seems to stop generating, but sort of directionless nonsense. You know, it generates, but sort of indiscriminate noise and haze and chaos. And, you know, despite that, I feel like I deserve applause and praise for navigating such a terrible quagmire, for navigating such a terrible mental, tempestuous cacophony of bullshit, just to make sense, just to arrive at the end of the sentence. You know, as my hero Michael Scott would say, sometimes I just start talking and hope that I find my way to something in the end. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but the sentiment still remains. There's some episode where he's like, sometimes I just start talking and the hope that I land something. And that is the spirit of PodGis. Temporarily named, formerly named, you know what? I'm going to say it's formerly named PodGis, henceforth. Let's get into it. Blue Jays. Blue Jays. Dodgers. World Series. You know what? First of all, congratulations if you're a Dodgers fan. Okay? There you go. You must be very proud of yourself. Fucking woohoo for you. But the wrong damn team lost. The bad guys won. Okay? And sure, you could say I'm biased because I'm a Torontoite. I'm a Canadian, and all of Canada was cheering for Toronto. A whole nation on the back of a team. And, a story like that, not to get political, but a country that was too close to electing a piddly ass fascist with no access to, what's it called? No clearance, no military. What is it called? God, I'm gonna have to look this up. What's his military clearance? What does Polyev not have? Polyev clearance. What's security clearance? I should have known that. Our leader of the opposition, so we were about to give the government to a guy who isn't even allowed security clearance for one reason or another. He's not allowed access to our own government secrets. And that should tell you something. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. But it's more than a little suspicious. It's more than a little untrustworthy of a guy who takes after the Republican rulebook and just spouts lie, who just tries to get ahead of everything through sheer force of quantity of lies. Just if somebody's calling you out, just lie about the next thing. Because now we're on to that thing. Anyways, I made it political. We were so close to electing that knobhead. Why does every conservative Canadian leader look like their head is is a Lego piece? Punk! Just sort of snapped on into place. But I digress. My point is, a nation that elected a fascist versus one that narrowly avoided it. That ought to be celebrated. No, you know what? I kid. I take a lot of shots at my American friends, and I'm sorry. I know the people who tend to listen to this and watch this, and the people who tend to be fans of mine, are surely not the ones responsible for electing such a God fucking why. Anyways, the wrong team won. Okay, and the Blue Jays had a whole nation on their back. And to be fair, a lot of people are saying, it's the Dodgers have the most money. They spend the most money. They have the most expensive roster in baseball. So it's really a story of like an underdog against the richest thing in baseball. And I bought into that until I saw that the Blue Jays spent like the fourth most amount in the league. So that argument's like a little disingenuous, and it's good to have the facts. It is. Somebody tell Pierre Polyev that it's good to have the facts. And it's okay to admit that you don't know something when you don't know something. And you don't have to lie, More on that later. I have another thing about that. But, not political. It's something else. But I will say, I never liked baseball. Like, I would go to live games, and those were super, super fun. And, you go there for the experience. You go with your friends. You get a hot dog. You get a beers. You get about 3 or 4 beers, and you sit way, way, way up in the nosebleeds, and you blow a guy, or you light a cigar, even though you're not allowed to, and you spend your day at the very, very top, the pinnacle of the Sky Dome / Rogers Center, and you blow a guy, and you have a great time, where nobody can see you, and that's always well and good. But the sport itself was never really that interesting to me. I've always found it so dull, so unwatchably dull. But here's the thing, is I'm also a huge soccer fan. Huge football, if you like. And a lot of people who watch soccer / football, if you like, will say that's the most boring sport ever. And the players falling down and clutching their different body parts if so much as a breeze whistles through their ears. Listen, I do get that complaint. I do. And I agree with that one. Because, God, that bothers me too. Maybe I don't know if it's a North American sensibility or we got American football and Canadians, we got hockey. So we're about like toughness in sport, contact sports, and toughen up, get tough, get up, you pussy. And so it does, and I understand in soccer, like drawing a foul as well is a tactic, and I understand it. It's just the embellishment. I'm sure we all agree is so cringy to watch and so annoying. But for people to say that they don't like soccer because it's boring, what my response is always, well, maybe you just don't have an appreciation of the sport and the nuances. Maybe you don't know enough. Maybe to not enjoy a sport is to be ignorant of it. I find that tends to be quite often the case. So, and such, I feel like the more I learned about baseball through the World Series, the more I came to like it. And here's the thing. I will become bored of baseball once more when the season begins. I will. Yeah, because there's too many games. Look, you're going to play 179,000 games in a season, and then for some reason, when the playoffs start, you've got a three best of 3 and then a best of 5, and you're like, come on, man, you played 170 games and then you made it a best of 5. Surely you can play more games. If it was that easy to play so many games in a year, and then you get to the end when it matters the most, and you're like, no, one should do it. Winner take just one. I'm done. God, I'm tired of baseball. Is that it? That you play so many games that by the time you get to the end, you're like, God, that's too much baseball. Let's wrap it up. I feel like we already know who the best is because he played 174 fucking games. So let's just wrap it up here. Let's just, come on, guys. Seriously. I've been away from my family for months. I don't know. But anyways, and I've spoken at length about this in the pod, in previous pods, but I'm a huge bandwagoner. Huge. Like, I just, who gets a better experience? Riddle me this. Who gets a better experience? You diehard fans who toil and you sit in misery through a bum team. You're just watching a bunch of bums fall over each other and fucking bump into each other out there, scoring on their own nets, looking like idiots. By extension, you look a fool because you spent money to sit there and watch these bums. You're an idiot. You're a clown. No. As for me, you go ahead. You sit there and you also not have fun. It's not fun. You see people wearing paper bags on their heads out of shame for the team, out of shame for the team that they cheer for. And it's like, why did you spend money to go to a game to humiliate yourself even further by wearing a bag on your head to demonstrate in protest this team that makes you sad? Why not just disengage like I do and go off and do something? Get a hobby. Get a coloring book for all I fucking care. I don't care. Take up backgammon. Find another team to cheer for. And then say, I'll catch you later. I'll catch up to you guys in a bit. And then when they get good, boom, you're back. You're back. You're on it. You're there. Hell's yeah. Hell's frickin' yeah. You know? That makes me better and smarter and wiser. Because I spent all this other time not having to sit there watch bums. And now, here I am. Side by side, shoulder to shoulder, with you, the person who feels like you've earned the happiness more. And you have a right to feel that way, but we're both eating from the same chip bowl. We're both watching from the same television. We're both wearing the same colors. Bitch, I can buy a jersey too. Oh my God, it's so much more fun for me because the team has a shot now. And it's exciting and they're winning. And I get as many high fives as you do. You've gone years without high-fiving anyone when they were a bum team. You were getting no high fives. And now look at us, years later. You sitting beside a bandwagoner like me, and we're high-fiving, and I'm getting just as many high fives as you. You know, you could teach me all the songs and chants. That won't take long. I know you were born knowing them, but how hard can it be to learn okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. You got an umpire, you got a something's ball. Does anybody know what okay. I don't know how anybody outside of Toronto or the Blue Jays fan base would know this, but when you go to a Blue Jays game, they do the 7th inning stretch. And there's a song that they play at Rogers Stadium. And it's called Okay Blue Jays, I believe. And in the verse, the guy just kind of... It seems like they got somebody like me to sing that song. And not just to sing it, but to improvise the verses. Because it sounds like the guy is just kind of thinking of the things that are in baseball and then listing them. So he's like, you got a catcher, you got a bat and a ball, you got a mitt and a coach and an umpire's call. I don't know if I got the lyrics right, but I was close and it rhymed. And it's just the verse, he's just listing stuff that you see in the game, the stuff in baseball. It's not profound. It's just he's kind of just racking his brain, face totally flush, flexing in the sound booth, just thinking of things. You got bases, you got people in the stands, you got grass and a mound and throwing with your hands. What do you want? And then that's the bridge. What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. It's a call and response thing there. It's catchy as shit. It's catchy as fuck. I'll give it that. But yeah, 7th inning stretch at a Jays game. Fun. Good fun. Fun. Hey, I had a question though. Baseball heads, can a baseball head answer me this? And come on, guys, even if you're not into baseball, like, this is kind of entertaining me talking about it. I'm telling you everything I know about it. Uh, and everything I learned. And now I'm kind of into baseball, but I won't watch it during the season because it is boring, and I will become interested again, and I will learn the rules, and I will appreciate it when the stakes are higher, when these games all matter individually a little bit more, you know? Oh, and now that I'm thinking about it, how heartbreaking of a loss. It really did bring Toronto together, and it brought the country together. And I love to see that. As a proud Canadian and a proud Torontonian, I like that was nice. Would have been nice to bring home a championship, but you know, too good to be true. That's also tends to be the plight of the Toronto sports fan, is like promise and excitement and hype only for like exception. Like, I know it hurts every team to lose. Of course it does. It's painful for teams to lose in the playoffs, and of course surely for the second place, for the runner up to get that close and then to lose game 7, extra innings, etc., etc. But like Toronto in general has this extra heartbreaking, extra excruciating, extra humiliating way of hurting its fans, you know? And this is all coming from a new fan, bandwagoner, still learning the ins and outs of baseball. I know it's a chess match and every pitch is a thing, and every pitch is a calculus. And that makes me wonder, a lot of people are like, these pitchers could put it on a dime every single time, everything's in control. But then you see every once in a while they'll like hit a guy or throw it real close to their face. And maybe they did that on purpose. But it's like, what? I don't know, that one didn't seem so purposeful. Why would you hit a guy? Unless he fucks your wife. You know? Unless he's Charlie Kirk's wife and J.D. Vance. But at least you'd be alive to do something about it. Hi-oh! Where did that come from? What was I just talking about? Now I'm distracted. Oh, I do remember at one point in the series, in the Dodgers-Jays game in the series, the Dodgers pitcher threw a ball and it hit a Jay in the hand or somewhere on his body. Looked painful, of course. You're whipping a 99-mile-an-hour ball, a hard ball, at somebody. It doesn't matter where it hits. It's going to fucking hurt. And so this Dodgers pitcher hits the Jay, and the Jay gets real mad and kind of takes off his gloves and throws his thing down, and he starts kind of walking to first base, but he's like looking at the pitcher like, you motherfucker. And then the pitcher, the guy who threw the ball, the provocateur, the instigator, the pitcher starts walking towards the guy as he's walking over to the base to take his base. The pitcher is like, what, motherfucker? What do you want, motherfucker? Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. And I remember watching that and being like, hey, you're the one who threw the ball. What's your problem? Maybe the Jay did fuck his wife. I hadn't thought of that. Maybe the Jay fucked his wife. Maybe the wife gave the BJ a BJ. Maybe the wife gave a BJ to the BJ. Pitcher wasn't too happy about it. What, motherfucker? It was like, hey, if I was the BJ, I would be like, hey, you threw that at me. You owe me an apology. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Why are you being so mean to me? We're all trying to win. Why are you taking that personally? It has nothing to do with you. I'm just trying to win the game just like you. Why would you throw the ball at me? You're trying to get it in the strike zone. I'm not a strike zone. I'm a person with feelings. Ow! You wouldn't be yelling at me if you got hit with the ball. You would know how much it hurts. And maybe I'll take first base, but I just want you to really think about that, okay? Because I'm going to take the base as a consequence, but like, you need to really think about the actions and the consequences of your actions. Because that really hurt. Speaking of, my face hurts from that impression. God, my face really hurts from that impression. I need to take a breath. As per usual, I haven't really stopped talking. I took a sip from my water at one point. I do remember that. Shit, I remember that. Okay. God, I have so much to talk about the Jays thing. When I'm finished talking about the Jays, I will move on to other stuff, and it will be exclusive. It will be exclusive content-y for my Patreoners. So if you are listening to this, if you are watching or listening, if you want more, then subscribe to my Patreon. There's plenty more. I will go for a much longer time, and it'll be a good time. It's always a good time. I got a lot of exclusive content out there. Holy jeez Louise. I forgot to mention, I released my second special on there. Very top secret, super exclusive. It's called Face to Face. I've been sitting on this thing for so long, and I decided just to give it, give it to my Patreoners, the people who have supported me, more tangibly, I will say. Even though every like and every view and every subscription and every share and every holler is all very much welcomed. I moved to a new place and rent is crazy, and I live in Toronto, and I know it's tough for all of us, but goddamn is it tough for me, because I live alone now, and it's really hard, and these people support. I really always I labor the point every time I do this. Anyways, my special, I'm very proud of it. It's awesome. It's very good. It's very heartfelt and very unique. Very unique. 3 days before my facial feminization surgery, I did that show and that performance, and it was really good, and I'm very proud of it. So check it out. It's in my Patreon, as is the rest of this episode. But first, I'm going to talk about a few more things. My question: baseball heads, ball heads, bat heads, mound heads, cap heads, sunflower seed heads. Yeah, that's enough. Let me ask you this. Every baseball diamond, do you call it a field? Every stadium, every baseball stadium is built different. And doesn't that change the home run zones? Like, I was looking at Dodger Stadium, and I was looking at the Blue Jays Stadium, and then I was also looking at, the Boston Red Sox have the Green Giant or whatever, the big wall that's there. And it's like, doesn't that change the dimensions and the qualifications of a home run. You know what I'm saying? So, like, doesn't that also, in effect, destandardize what a home run requires and what different hits require and all that jazz? You know? And on top of that, now that I think about it, you know, like San Francisco, their thing is right on the water. Because I've seen people on kayaks get baseballs that got hit over the thing. And it's like, what about the what about the San Francisco winds? I know these are okay, look, weather, you can't account for weather. Of course. Even though baseball, they shut the game down if it rains. So you can account for weather. So how come every stadium is built different, like a Mario Party game board? You know? It's like you can't count the stats all the same. You can't say everybody's playing on an even playing field, because they're not. Because some of them have a wall this big, and some of them have got a wall this big. So riddle me that, baseball fans. Tell me in the comments, am I wrong? I'm not going to look up the information. I'm not going to fact check myself. No. Couple more things. I saw online somebody being like, we should have a parade for the Jays anyways, because of the heart and soul that they put into this stadium and what they did for the city and this country and blah, blah, blah. And at first when I read that, my pride was like, hell yeah, we should. Let's celebrate these guys. They're the best. Love these guys. Love these boys. Let's lift them up on our shoulders. Let's give them free Tim Hortons for a week. Free doubles for a month. But then I thought, I was like, you know, it's kind of a bad look, and it's kind of pathetic. It's kind of pathetic to give the second place team also a parade. And if we want to be taken seriously in the eyes of our much wealthier, much louder American neighbors, then we need to legitimize ourselves in their eyes by conforming to the general rule that losers don't get parades. And I gotta say, it would make me far less proud to be a Canadian and a Fairweather Jays fan if we had a parade. I would kind of be embarrassed. And we would deserve all of the roasting that we would receive for that. We would deserve all of it. So whoever tweeted that idea, you're pathetic. Don't do that. No, bad. I will end on this. So the game 7 game, oh God, it was really nice that Toronto was so alive with the energy that this World Series brought the city. Was so fun and so nice, and you saw so much Blue Jays memorabilia everywhere. And I noticed, so 2 more things. Now that I think about it, I noticed that men, listen, and all my guy friends have complained about this before, but men don't often compliment each other in public out of fear of maybe looking gay. I can't tell that guy I like his jacket or he'll think I'm gay. I can't ask that guy where he got his shoes or he might try to give me a blowjob. I can't tell that guy I like his jacket or he'll try to bend me over and fuck me in the ass. And I don't want that 'cause I'm a man. So, men just generally don't compliment each other in public. But what I noticed during the Jays run in Toronto is there is an exception to the rule now where men will totally go out of their way to compliment each other if they're wearing the same sports ball shirt. Hell yeah, brother, it's because it's not gay. That's an anti-gay spell that you've cast. Oh, you're wearing a Blue Jays jacket? Blue Jays bomber jacket? Hell yeah, nice bomber jacket. And you know that I don't want to blow you because it's sports. And that's the exception. And good job, men. You've found a loophole into connecting with each other and not being suspicious of each other's fragile sexualities just by wearing the same sports ball colors. And good work. Let's exploit that loophole. You know? It's nice that the rest of the year when the team isn't playing, or heaven forbid if they're not having a good season and you don't see their memorabilia out as much, when I think a team making the playoffs is good for all men, because then you can wear your favorite shirts with your favorite boy, with your favorite boy's name on the back of your shirt, and then another guy can look at you and go, huh, that's my favorite boy too. That's my favorite boy too on the back of your shirt there. That's my favorite boy wearing my favorite boy's number on the back of your shirt there. And I like your shirt. And it's not gay and I don't want to fuck you. And they'll be like, hey bro, that's really cool. Is this what bonding feels like? Because I'm so afraid of being gay, but I got my favorite boy on my shirt on. And you think that's cool? Thanks. Let's be friends. Until this team loses. And then I'll be really suspicious that you want to fuck my ass anytime you compliment anything else that I'm going to wear. Yeah. So good for you, men. Good for you guys. Because I saw, on multiple occasions, I did see on multiple occasions, on a streetcar or something, some guy wearing it's also vintage tends to get more of a response from men. There was a guy wearing a vintage bomber jacket or something, and the guy was like, hey bro. And I was standing in between them. They were here and I was in between. And one of them goes, hey bro. And I thought, usually that's the sound. They could go anywhere. These motherfuckers be unhinged. But guy said, hey, bro. And the other guy turned around, fucking ready to fight. Because why? You want to fuck me? Because I don't want to fuck. And I'll fight you if you want to fuck. You know how most people have fight or flee? Men have fight or fuck. If you don't want to fuck, you want to fight. Anyways, guy goes, hey, man. Hey, dude. Hey, bro. And then bro turned around and went, sup, bro? And then the guy goes, I like your jacket, bro. And the guy was like, huh, thanks, bro. And then they high-fived over my head and went about their day. And good for you guys. Good for you guys. Good for you men. Anything to get you to stop hurting people and getting mad and breaking stuff. Although I will also commend, look, when a team like Toronto loses so devastatingly in Game 7, often there will be concerns whenever you get to that championship thing and the losing team or the winning team in LA's case, there's always a fear of vandalism and a riot breaking out after a big sporting event, which I gotta say is so fucking stupid, one way or the other. And what's crazy is Toronto didn't have that. No riots. As far as I know, no broken shit, no upturned cars, nothing like that. But LA definitely did some damage, which is wild. You guys won. You guys won. If either city had any reason to if either city had any reason or incentive to cause destruction and mayhem, it was fucking Toronto. We haven't won a championship in 32 years? Haven't been to the World Series. And then we lost in such an excruciating way after, like, being so narrow, so close to winning. If anybody, and then Torontoers, not a lot of people know this, but the public transit system completely fucking abandoned them and left them. What's the word? Adrift? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Stranded them. People were stranded from outside the city because the trains that were supposed to operate like to outside of Toronto, the transit basically closed at 1:30 or whatever, and the game ran late. I think. I don't know. There was something where people were stranded, and lots of videos of them like yelling at the security guards standing outside the things as if they had anything to do with the scheduling of these things. But anyways, you know, people want a manifestation of. People just want to yell at some representative, even if all they're doing is just wearing a shirt. Hey, we're all just a bunch of stupid, dumb animals yelling at each other based on the shirts that we're wearing. You know, I'd get yelled at for wearing the wrong shirt based on what gender people presume I am, you know? But anyways, so if anybody had a rationale, a fair enough reason to riot, it was Toronto. And God bless our punk ass Canadian sensibilities. We kept it. We bottled we repressed our shame and our anger, and some of us walked home all the way to Guelph. Yeah. Although that is shitty. That they wouldn't like extend, knowing that it's Game 7 of the World Series, that they wouldn't like make an exception the day of to be like, all right, we got to keep this shit open a little longer, anticipating a party one way or another. Silly. That was silly of them. Whoever's in charge. And that leads me to my next point. Apparently it's a provincial thing. Everyone's arguing online about whose responsibility it is. And lo and behold, I've seen this several times. Guess who's taking the blame from a lot of these accounts? God, they're fucking stupid and incessant and insufferable. The gays. There's so many posts that are like, this wouldn't happen at Pride Month, where naked men flop their wieners around in front of kids. And now you've invoked a group that had nothing to do with this, and then you've made it about something that has fucking nothing at all. Not a sliver of relatability, nothing. These people will make it about this any chance they get. This is fucking proof, and it's exhausting. So this lapse in judgment from whoever is responsible, provincial or municipal government, is now, well, it's the gays' fault. And they're perverts, and they're sexual deviants, and they're after your kids. And now we're onto a whole other fucking discussion, and now the LGBT people, and then it's like, yeah, the gays are fine, it's the transes. And now, out of fucking nowhere, why am I sitting here defending myself? Where the fuck did that come from? This is what being queer and trans means in 2025, is that at any point at all, in apropos of absolutely guffin shit all, you have to be ready to defend yourself, because somebody is going to draw some conclusion, some blame, some anger, some vitriol your way. They're going to name you as the cause that fucking Peter Grosseman couldn't go home to Kitchener after the Jays lost Game 7. God, oh man. Anyways, it's all the gays' fault. It's the gays. Fucking gays and their parade. This wouldn't happen to the gays. Well, good for us then. I don't know what to tell you. Go fuck yourself. It's the Pride Parade, man. We earned that shit. I don't know what to tell you. Don't bring your kids if there's naked dudes there. I don't know. That's a whole fucking different thing. Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay. Wow. I've gone for so long. And all I talked about was Blue Jays and baseball. I hope it wasn't boring. I tried to make it as relatable as possible. I didn't really talk about sports all that much, you know? Ava talks about everything else around it. I just wish I had some funnier conclusion to that last part, because it's annoying. Now those angry people, now that they've dragged me into their thing, God, it just goes to show these people think about gays more than gay people think about gays. And bringing it back to my whole thing about men complimenting each other based on the sports shirts that they're wearing, or else they might be gay. This paranoia about being seen as gay. Tell me, who thinks about gay sex more than straight guys do? And I'm retroactively putting straight in quotes. Hey, straight guys. It's unhealthy to think about gay sex as much as you think about gay sex. If it's none of your business, if it's none of your interest, why do you think about it so much? Why do you talk about it so much? Why do you post about it so much? If you don't want to fuck a guy, then don't fuck a guy. But anyways, that's coming from somebody who fucks a lot of guys. I probably don't think about fucking guys as much as you guys do. And I'm speaking directly to the straight guys. Hey, I fuck guys, and I don't think about fucking guys nearly as much as you think about fucking guys. Maybe you should think about that. Maybe you should have a think about that. Maybe you should have a long, hard, maybe you should have a think about that, long and hard and uninterrupted by a long and hard cock. Maybe you should think about that, and you should think long and hard. Oops. Maybe you should think... maybe you should think about that, long and hard, uninterrupted by the thought of a hard cock. And I know that we didn't even get to that uninterrupted part of the statement, because after I said long and hard, you thought of a long and hard cock. And that's a good indicator that you think about long and hard cocks and gay sex a lot more than people like me do. Anyways, go Jays. Better luck next year. I hope they're back. I hope we win next year. Because as a bandwagoner, you know what? Wow. I get it. All at once, I get it. If the Jays win next year, I'm completely eating my words now. If the Jays win the World Series next year, the victory will feel even sweeter having just endured this year. I get it. I get it. I get it now. But also at the same time, my memory is so short that I'll forget this feeling. I pretty much forgot it the day after. You know, I'll be fine. We'll be fine. I hope the Jays win eventually. And, next time they're in the playoffs, I'll see y'all there. Until then, buy me a ticket and I'll blow a guy at the roof of the Rogers Center. Okay? All right. Subscribe to my Patreon because I'm going to keep going. I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff now that I'm all warmed up. I'm warmed up, baby. I'm warmed up. And in the meantime, my special is on my Patreon. Please go check it out. Lots of content there. And you can subscribe to my Instagram where I post a lot of exclusive content as well. What as well? I'm going on tour to the East Coast. If you didn't know that already, then look for my Linktree, Ava Val Linktree, where I am slowly rolling out tickets to all my shows. I am performing in Charlottetown, Moncton, Halifax, the Halifax area, at pubs and places like that. What else? St. John's, Moncton, Charlottetown, Cape Breton, I think. I should have the list. Anyways, just DM me or look up my Linktree and you'll see some of the dates. And yeah, stay tuned. Patreoners, go over to my Patreon and check out the full episode of whatever else I get up to. Okay? Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Take care. We'll see you next time.